What is going on, guys? Welcome back. I cannot believe I'm doing this video. I should not be able to do this video. Now, let me clarify this. Because I understand, I respect, and I know that EA has to maintain relationships with its partners, okay? They have to market, they have to promote, they have to integrate their products. So, I'm going to put a link down to this video, and I want you to go watch it. And I want you to understand that, at least to a degree, this is a necessity, okay? This is essentially an infomercial for State Farm that is trying to appeal to gamers and Madden players to get an insurance quote. And they're doing that by having a series called Underrated, where Adam and Clint essentially assess a player and then change his ratings based on their findings. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with this concept, okay? I wish it was more game film based, but in this episode, if you will, they look at Marcus Peters' catch rating, okay, which is an 82, one of the higher end catch ratings, by the way, for corners and defensive backs, but he feels it should be higher. So they go out, they run him through a couple drills. He really, honestly, he only catches, and wait till you see the form on this thing, he only catches about one of the 3 passes. But this is going to change his catch rating somehow. But they also talk about this. This is kick accuracy. And they also talk about kick power. This is where Clint has to have some authority within EA Sports and say, this is not the time. We do not need to sit here and have our game showing a punter replaced by a cornerback discussing his rating. We do not need to have him taking a kick accuracy test where they're coning off the end zone and seeing if that he can get a coffin corner, and then based on how many points he accumulates, have Clint assess what his ratings should be. This is meaningless. This is wasted time. This is something the gamer does not actually expect or want to see. So when you have a player coming out and saying, like Marcus Peters, oh, I'm practically Dustin Colquitt, you have to assess that the gamer does not want any part of this. In fact, they actually go in and they change his kick accuracy to a 27, and because Clint was so impressed with his kicking, he actually got an increase in his power to 27 as well. The only rating that Clint Oldberg needs to be concerned with is the customer rating. And if you don't know, it's a 0.2. So to go back to the beginning, I'm not frustrated by the fact that they're maintaining business partnerships. I'm not frustrated by the fact that they're creating promotions. I'm not frustrated by the fact that they're cross-marketing. Those are all things that have to be done, okay? No matter what the state of the game is, they have to be done. The frustration is the state of the game where it is and this being done. And what I mean by that is, right now, we have issues. I just showed them yesterday on my channel, where when you talk about punts, right, the snap is not done correctly. When you talk about special teams, the long snappers are not placed correctly. Long before you worry about a cornerback and what his punt rating is, you need to be focused on fixing the game. And when someone approaches you to discuss something so irrelevant to your game, Clint should have the authority and the ability to say, listen, our game isn't in a position to do this right now. We'll talk about the catching, we'll go through something else, but now is not the time. Right now we have too many issues in our game to be promoting something like this that is worthless and meaningless to the customer. Because if the game was in a quality state, this would be something you snicker at. This would be something that's cute. This would be a final touch, if you will. But this game is so far away from final touches that all this does is serve to frustrate the community. Because we're reminded that you're ignoring every other issue in your game. You're ignoring the formation issue, the ball snap trajectory, the physics of the game. The only thing you're concerned with is, how can you project to people that don't play this game that it's in a good place? Because someone that doesn't know anything about Madden, or video game football for that matter, they're going to look at this and say, wow, here's a game that's super realistic. They're actually taking players from different positions and letting them punt and adjusting their ratings. This Clint Oldenburg guy must really know what he's doing. He watched a guy make 10 punts and adjusted his rating from a 14 to a 27. This guy's some type of football genius. We don't even have the offensive line programmed right in this game. And if Clint doesn't have the power to come in and veto something like this, or at least try to steer it in the right direction, then it tells me all I need to know about how bad this game is and how it's gotten there. Because no one should have ever even started to delegate this process happening. What are you going to do about someone's injury rating later? Why does any of this even matter? If you're going to do something that matters. Do something that tangibly improves your game. All this really did was show me that you continue to focus on things that don't matter. You continue to waste your time. When there is a patch right now in the game that is perhaps the most negatively received patch of all time in Madden, and you were taking time out of your week to look at Marcus Peters punting a football? Like, you can't make this up. You literally cannot make this up. I actually made a reference on Twitter the other day. It is the equivalent of having a car with no engine and shopping for rims constantly. The first thing someone is going to say to you is, why are you worried about the rims? Your car doesn't have an engine. Oh, well, I want it to look good. It's not going anywhere, but I want it to look good. That is where EA Sports is, and it's gotten there because of decision-making like this. It's gotten there because of people like this. I don't know what you guys do for a living. I don't care what you do for a living. I guarantee you there's a time in your life someone has approached you with something and you've looked at them and said, hey, I don't think we need to take this approach. We're not in a good enough place to take this approach. We need to reevaluate what we're doing. And I'll tell you right now, if Clint doesn't have that authority, that's a big problem. Because Clint should know. Set aside the infomercial aspect of selling State Farm on this. Clint should know that fans of this game are going to watch this. They're going to not be playing the game right now and watch this because of how broken it is. You're going to have somebody like me drive people to this video. And you don't want to leave people with the impression that you're sitting there with a clean desk when your game is full of bugs and you're watching film of a cornerback punt a football. Because that's not going to go over well. I know that. I knew that. But that's where Madden is. And I'll tell you right now, if Madden continues to go in this direction, it is never going to get better. There is zero accountability. There is zero awareness, if they want to put that in a rating perhaps. There's zero care. I mean, let's just be really honest with ourselves about the Fix Madden franchise movement. It's taken them months, and they've done nothing. The patch is expected in November, conveniently timed with the next-gen console release. So are we really expected to not think that you don't care about the customer that has the game right now because it's dual entitlement, right? You don't care about us right now. You care about next-generation console sales. So you'll make sure the game is right then, but you won't care about right now because we already have your money. We already have your pre-orders. So why does EA care now? You know, it's a sad state of this game. But I will say, I'm really looking forward to you guys going over and watching this video. I made a comment. Maybe you can make a comment. Maybe you can share your thoughts with Clint about how you felt he did rating Marcus Peters punting. I know I would love to, but he's blocked me on Twitter, which I'm sure by now he is very thankful that he's done that. But the reality is, he can block me on Twitter all he wants. It's not going to stop him from making incredibly poor decisions with this game that not just myself, but everyone in this community should be talking about. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out. And you know I will be back because every day EA does something that is so absolutely ridiculous, I can talk about it in the week with more commentary.